This is what it looks like when you leave your straw bale garden unattended for 2 weeks. Yeah, I've been away. This is about 5 feet tall. And these are the cherry tomatoes. See them? And they've almost gone to like vine-like projections. And the problem with that is they're shading my cayenne chilies. Cayenne chilies are really pretty red and green, but they're not getting any sun. Here's my other cayenne over here. It's not doing too well. So what I got to do is I got to trim back these tomatoes, and it looks like it's getting, I don't know, is this blight? I have no idea what that is, but yeah, that sucker's definitely going. I don't know what that is. And I'm gonna probably crop it right about 4 feet tall all the way across, and then of course trim this back over here for my chilies to get more sunlight. My big boys, they're big, but they're not ripening because I'm not getting enough sun, and it's been a cool summer. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but they're definitely not getting as much sun as they should. This one's starting to redden up a little bit. Get a little red tinge, but my cherry tomatoes, the ripe ones, are down here, and these are actually ripe, because if they get any riper than that, they'll burst. Let me see if I can find one that burst. But yeah, here, these here, they burst open. They've gotten, I don't know, too ripe or too much water that they burst, and even some yellow ones that burst and fallen off. See that right there? So I've got to pick them when they're yellow. So I'm going to do another harvest, and maybe I'll pick some green ones and pickle the green ones. So let me trim it back, and I'll show you what it looks like. As a comparison, here's a big boy in a pot obviously, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tomatoes on there. They're still green too, but I think the biggest one is over here, and it's relatively small. So the pot definitely doesn't give as much growing room as the Bale garden. This is what all the stuff I trimmed off the cherry tomatoes. They're still kind of hanging over here. Kind of looks like a a vine, but that's not really shading my chilies, so I just left it there. One thing, oh, and here's the big boy in the Bale. There's a lot more of them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So there's a lot more in the bale, straw bales, for good reason, because it's got a lot of room for the roots to spread out. I got one sweet pepper that's trying to hang on. Here's its dead brother, nice and well preserved. They're well dehydrated. One thing I do want to mention about the straw bale garden, it is nice in that I can walk around it. Now you can put it in any kind of configuration you want. You can make them 4 deep or just 2 deep like I've got. And since it raises it above the ground, you don't have to stoop all the way over to look underneath at the bottom to check for fruit. Here's my cucumbers. They're kind of petering out. I got a few pickles I'll show you here at the end of the video. But I say, for what it is, an experiment, it's a success. I kind of know what I'm doing. So for next year, I'm definitely going to separate them and give them a little more room, more individual bale room, so I won't clump them all together. But I just wanted to see how they did. That way I can water them individually, a little more, a little less as needed. So Let's go check out my harvest. Here's the latest harvest. Got a small one. I picked it early because I'm going to pickle it. This one looks a little rough, but that's alright. I'll trim that off. And I got 10 cayenne chilies and 9 of these cherry tomatoes. They taste really good in this color. Got a little itty bitty baby one. As far as an update, it'll probably be a while before I put another update on the garden, because really not much happening. I think just the fruits are coming in, so when the tomatoes start ripening, I might do another update. But so far so good. It's definitely low maintenance, but the only suggestion I would have is definitely to separate the other plants from the tomatoes, because the tomatoes are pretty prolific. They'll take over the garden in a heartbeat. The weird angle you're seeing is because I'm recording with my old Sony Handycam, and that's because my old Canon SX230, the record feature has finally bit the dust. But this video is about making your own pickles. You saw on my earlier on this video my harvest for my straw bale garden, and I didn't get a whole lot of cucumbers, but I got enough to make a big jar of pickles and a couple of well, in a smaller jar. So this is all cucumbers that I grew in my straw bale garden, and I followed instructions, or I followed the recipe from J0's video on making bread and butter pickles, and I'll put the link below. I don't know J0. I've left a few comments, but he's got cool videos, so go check him out. Somebody gave my wife some banana peppers, so I also made banana peppers using the same brine, and I put some of my cayennes in the brine. I got some leftover brine that I'll probably, when I get some more pickles or whatever, I'll brine those. And these are not the original jars, or they're not fancy canning jars, and I actually even reused the lids, but it's just a hot water bath, and given that it's a lot of vinegar and sugar, I'm not too worried about spoiling and bacteria. I did boil the jars and the lids, but you can see it's sucked down. Now what I found is these old ragu jars, it takes a little bit of they have to cool down quite a bit for these lids to suck down. They're pretty strong. But this big pickle jar here, I opened this already. This was pretty easy. It cooled down after like 20 minutes, and was able to pop down. But here's another old tomato sauce jar that I used, and like I said, I used the old lids, no problems. Now I don't recommend that you do this with meat or anything, but for high acidity and high sugar stuff where you can do a hot water bath, if you don't want to do it, don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. But I don't have a problem with it. But I'm going to do a taste test on some dogs with my bread and butter pickles. I have tried these already. I have eaten them. They're a little floppy. I guess I got them too hot or something, but whatever. They work. They're little different flavor from what you get from the store, because of course I grew my pickles fresh, so they have a little different flavor than the bland grocery store cucumbers, but they're good. And you get a lot of them. And I shaved them thin. I used a mandolin like J0 did. These are good. So they're not pretty. A little more mushy than I want. But the flavor's good. What's nice is, one, I did it myself. So it costs less. And two, if I ever needed to do it again, because I can't get to the store or don't want to pay high prices, I can do it. But just a dog with some bread and butter homemade pickles. Some Tabasco. Just right. Well, this video's gone about as long as I want it to go on. Next year, give some straw bale garden a try and make your own pickled vegetables. That's all I got. See you later.